Good afternoon from Mize Field in Smith County. It's time for area high school baseball action as the Sumrall Bobcats take to the road to play the Mize Bulldogs. I'm Kelly Sander along with producer, engineer, director Jeremy Thompson as we broadcast from our location, the mezzanine of Mize, which is right here behind home plate, second floor. The Bobcats coming into this game 16-3 after a win last night and sweeping that series against Purvis. Bobcats in the driver's seat in District 7 4A. Meanwhile, Mize hosting the Bobcats today come in 13-7. And the last 5 games for the Bulldogs have either been won or lost via the shutout. Kind of a unique statistic as they split a series with St. Joe's this past week, losing 1-0 up in the Jackson area and then winning here 3-0. Let's take a look at the Sumrall lineup. Dennis Jackson leads it off. He's playing center field. Zane Berry will bat second and play second. Graham Crawford, the catcher, bats third. He'll be followed by the right fielder, Billy Garrity. Javen Williams bats fifth and plays left for the Bobcats today. Hunter Barrett will bat fifth, back at his traditional position of third. Mason Story batting seventh, playing first base. Seth Mitchell, the designated hitter, hits eighth. And rounding out the order for the Rawcats, Tanner Morgan, the shortstop. So it's Jackson, Berry, Crawford, Garrity, Williams, Barrett, Story, Mitchell, and Tanner Morgan to face the left-hander Zach Griffith on the hill for the Bulldogs. 307 down the left field line. And to right field, 246 is the dimension to right, but a monstrous fence there in right field, meaning you're going to have to hit it a lot further than 246, but that is the dimension. A very short right field porch, and the first pitch to Dennis Jackson is in there for a called strike. Dennis coming in hitting 347 with no homers and 10 runs batted in. As you hear the wind blowing from right to left as you look at the field. Breaking ball misses inside, 1-1. The wind blowing briskly out toward left. The farthest part of the ballpark is right where the flag in left center field is. Old Glory is at the deepest part of this ballpark, about 340 out that way. So a very asymmetrical field here in Mize with that short right porch, but you'd think that more home runs would be hit, but because of the height of the fence, it makes it difficult. 1-1 pitch to Jackson is low, 2-1. Sumrall returns to district action on Tuesday night when the Forest County Aggies come to Larry Knight Field. The 3-1 pitch to Jackson is swung on and fouled out of play to our right. So the count fills to the leadoff hitter. Christy Martin has already checked in, watching on the YouTube channel out of Folsom, Louisiana. You can text us at 601-310-7077, part of our Sumrall roll call. Swing and a miss. Jackson is out on strikes. So one away, and here comes Zane Berry. Zane came into the weekend hitting 389. Now has no homers and 8 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty, the matchup here. We are right smack behind home plate. And here's a drive to left field. Ball is well hit. That ball is way back. That ball is gone. Aloha on the steel guitar. Zane Berry has gone yard. A solo shot here in the top of the first inning. And just like that, the Bobcats lead 1-0. It was a rope toward left initially. Clayton Childress gave it a look and took about 3 steps back and knew that it was a lost cause, along with a lost baseball to left field. So a solo shot for Zane Berry has the Bobcats up 1-0. And here's Graham Crawford now. First pitch to Crawford is outside and high, ball 1. Graham hitting 320 coming into this weekend. Crawford, a switch hitter, bats right-handed against the left-handed pitching Griffith. Swung on. Here's a drive. That ball is well hit. That ball is back toward the fence. That ball is gone. Aloha on the steel guitar. Graham Crawford has gone yard. His second of the year and his 18th run batted in. Back-to-back homers here in the top of the first inning. Now Garrity digs in, who leads the team in home runs and RBIs. Lefty versus lefty, this matchup here. As the pitch was called inside, it looked like from here maybe got the corner, and I think that's what Griffith thought as well. Lefty versus lefty, this matchup. There's a breaking ball that's in there for a strike as he worked the outer part of the plate. Garrity committed to Southern Miss. He'll be a Golden Eagle this fall. But he's looking at that 246-foot dimension down right field. That pitch was low and away, but called a strike. 1-2 now to Billy Garrity. .318 the batting average. And the 1-2 pitch coming up. Just off the plate, 2-2 now to the cleanup hitter for Sumrall. Javen Williams is on deck. Non-conference game for both of these teams, non-district. We mentioned the Bulldogs split with St. Joe's. Sumrall swept Purvis. Check swing low, 3-2 now. The count fills up. Bases empty, one out here. Colby Sanford checking in today, watching the ball game. Colby, a big Bobcat fan. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Garrity out on strikes. Second out of the inning. And Javen Williams steps up to the plate. Javen with a .319 batting average, 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. One of 5 Bobcats in double-digit RBIs this season. First pitch is a bender off the plate, ball 1. Raymond McRaney is watching from Hattiesburg today. Says, go Bobcats, go. The 1-0 pitch to Williams. Breaking ball missed low, 2-0 now. To the left fielder. Should he reach, then Hunter Barrett would come to bat here in the top of the first inning. 2 solo homers by Barry and Crawford have Sumrall up 2-0. That's inside now, 3-0 to Javen. Javen Williams, one of the few juniors in the Sumrall lineup. Most of this Sumrall team's seniors, of course, that's been well documented. Big senior class. Talented senior class athletically. 3-0 pitch is low, ball 4. So Javen Williams is aboard with 2 away, and here's Hunter Barrett. Hunter Barrett, one of those guys with double-digit RBIs. Barrett, the winning pitcher in last night's game, comes in hitting .289 with no homers and 16 runs batted in. Griffith checks the runner, looks at the runner right in the eye, and brings it to the plate. And missed a little bit high. Well, that looked like a good pitch from here. But more umpires are going from the belt buckle to the knees rather than the chest to the knees. Here's a high pop-up. Infield calling it, left side of the infield. And making the catch over there at shortstop for the Bulldogs is Clay Cook. So Barrett is out, but Sumrall comes up with 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. So we go to the bottom of the first inning. Sumrall leading 2-0. Tris Cooley on the way to Nashville, Tennessee for a golf tournament with William Carey. But even so, always supporting the Bobcats. Now, Tris, don't drive off the road. Just listen. Don't be watching. All right, we'll try to call it like a radio broadcast so you can be safe on the road. Let's take a look now at the Bulldog batting order. Clay Cook, the shortstop, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Dylan Sullivan. John Sullivan, the catcher, bats third. And then Zach Griffith, the pitcher, hitting for himself in the 4-hole. Tyler Temple batting fifth. He plays center. Then Clayton Childress batting sixth in left field. This 7-hole hitter for Coach Adam Dice is Brady Little, the designated hitter who is swinging for Tanner Spear. Dusty Bush, the first baseman, bats eighth, and then Dylan Reeves rounds out the order for Mize. So it's Cook, Sullivan, Griffith, Temple, Childress, Little, Bush, and Reeves to face Cross Sibley. Sibley, the sophomore left-hander, comes in with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses, a 1.47 earned run average. He has pitched 28 2/3 innings. He has given up 14 hits. He's walked 14, struck out 33. But the most dubious statistic, and something that Cross has been trying to work on, is cutting down the number of hit batsmen. He has plunked 17 this season. Getting the start today, and he will face Clay Cook, the shortstop, to lead it off here in the bottom of the first inning. Clay Cook wearing jersey number 13. A lot of players just won't wear 13 for superstitious reasons. Well, I really like these pants that the Bulldogs are wearing here. Another team with blue and yellow colors. First pitch from Sibley is a high drive to center field. Dennis Jackson going back. Dennis Jackson at the wall makes the catch. First pitch swinging, and Cook nearly put it out of here. But Jackson was tracking it all the way and was able to glove it for the first out. And here's the second baseman, Dylan Sullivan. First pitch from Sibley, another swung on. This one is a ground ball to third. Barrett with the play, and 2 up and 2 down. Boy, talk about pitching efficiency. 2 pitches and 2 outs. And here's John Sullivan. Boy, you'd figure with a name like John Sullivan, he's got a little bit of fight in him, huh? I don't know if he's John L. Sullivan, but as he comes to the plate with the music, Big John, sung by former country star James Dean, or Jimmy Dean, I guess they called him. First pitch is low, ball 1. Bottom of the first inning. Sumrall leading Mize 2-0. Swung on. This is to the right side. Barry has to move to his left. Reverse pivot. Throw to first base, and that retires the side. 3 up and 3 down for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the first inning. So we've completed one here at Mize Field. I'm glad Tristan Cooley called us back in and said that Coach is driving. So that's good. Don't want you to at all be in danger. Rain in the forecast, but for much later in the day, so we should be okay here. Although, when you get to sit on the mezzanine over Mize, this is prime real estate location at the ballpark here. Right behind home plate. I'm not sure of a venue where the crowd gets to sit as close to the action as you do here. And the facility has had terrific upgrades the past 5 or 6 years. Former Oak Grove player Kyle Logan used to coach here at Mize. And of course, they've had some great football teams over the years. Coach Charles Ray Lee, for years, had state contenders with the Boykin boys, Bo Boykin and the rest of the crew back in the day. Sumrall comes to bat here in the top of the second inning. Mason Story leading it off. Mace hitting .295 with a homer and 10 runs batted in. One of those RBIs was plated last night against the Purvis Tornadoes. First pitch to him, and here's a drive that's up in the air toward left. That ball is well hit, but being tracked and on the warning track with a great catch in center field is Tyler Temple, who read that one all the way and was able to glove it for the first out. Nice play by Temple, who was on his horse at full speed to his right to pull that one in at nearly the deepest part of the ballpark. So here's Seth Mitchell now, the DH. Mitchell hitting for Cross Sibley, the pitcher. First pitch to him is high on the heater. Ball one. Seth hitting .312 with 2 homers and 10 runs batted in. Hitting 8th in the order for skipper Larry Knight. Here in the top of the second inning, bases empty, 1 out. That's low. Umpire will go out and hand deliver this one to Zach Griffith. Mitchell with a 2-0 count, normally a fastball count. We'll see if he gets the heater here. He did, but it's inside 3-0 now. Bobcats obviously in their all gray uniforms. The Bulldogs in their yellow tops and white pants. 3-0, and that actually brushed him. It would have been ball 4 anyway, so he's at first base with 1 out, and here's Tanner Morgan. Tanner hitting .159 with a homer and 7 runs batted in. Prom tonight in the Sumrall area. Hope that any of the kids that are going will be safe and smart. That pitch is off the plate, ball 1. The Mize prom, I guess, is in the middle of April. April 13th, maybe. Wind blowing out toward left. Griffith checks the runner at first base. Not a very big lead over there. Brings it to the dish, and that's called high. And the strike zone's been a little tight here early on for both pitchers. 2-0 to Morgan. Here's a high pop-up. Right fielder calling for it. Now the second baseman waves him off as the wind blew it back in. Good communication there. Dylan Sullivan was able to put that one away, and there's 2 outs.
With 2 outs, number 5, Dennis Jackson.
So Sumrall goes back to the top of the order, and Dennis Jackson. Dennis mired in a bit of a slump here lately. He's due. Sumrall batting in the top of the second inning. Mitchell is at first base with 1 out. Breaking ball, check swing, but it's a strike. It was not a called strike. He said that Dennis Jackson actually swung at that pitch, and now Larry Knight would like an explanation coming down from the third base coach's box. And now we might get an appeal to the first base umpire as to whether Jackson. So it was not a called strike. It was ruled that Dennis Jackson swung at the pitch, which could have been appealed from behind home plate to begin with. And it looks like it's been overruled. It looks like that's ball 1. It is now switched to ball 1. So the 1-0 pitch. Snap throw back to first base. Back in time is Seth Williams. That pitch called low, 2-0. Two outs, top of the second. Jackson batting for the second time in this game. The 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0. Zane Berry's on deck. He hit a solo homer in his first at bat, his first one of the year. But it jumped off the bat and got out of here over the left field wall. 3-0 pitch is there as the sun comes out now in full force. Mize is in a great location, just up off the 35, just on the 35 highway, just north of the 49. Swung on. This is a cue ball with wicked spin to the left side, but Jackson's speed, he'll beat that out. It'll be ruled an infield hit. He was actually behind, excuse me, a little bit ahead of that pitch, and it hit right off the end of the bat, which sent a really wicked side spin. And it was not hit with enough authority. Dylan Sullivan played it as best he could, but Jackson's speed nets him an infield hit. So runners on first and second. Breaking pitch to Zane Berry is right there for strike one. Zane with 1 homer and 9 runs batted in now. Runners will be moving on contact with 2 away. Breaking ball is off the plate. Nice job by Sullivan to keep it in front of him. So 1-1 to the senior second baseman, rather, Zane Berry. About said shortstop, but that's Tanner Morgan. He also is senior. Griffith checks the sign from Sullivan, brings it to the plate. Now snap throw to first base. A very nonchalant Dennis Jackson gets back in there. And the very first 2 words out of the Sumrall dugout were "be alert." He nearly got rung up over there. 2-1 the count. Zane Berry, the hitter, with the .389 average. Off the plate. Now it's 3-1. And he's definitely worked himself into a fastball count. Graham Crawford's on deck. He's got a home run today. He and Berry went back-to-back in the first. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenged him with a heater, and Berry couldn't get it. So the count fills now at 3-2 with 2 outs. Runners should be moving. As soon as Griffith commits to the plate, the runners will be off to the races. Sumrall trying to extend a 2-0 lead here against the Bulldogs. There go the runners. Swing and a miss. Berry out on strikes, and so too the Bobcats in the second inning. So no runs on 1 hit. That was the single by Jackson. So we go to the bottom of the second inning here in Mize today at Mize Field. It'll be Griffith, Temple, and Childress to face Cross Sibley. We want to thank our sponsors, State Farm Insurance agents Stacy Clark and Lance Ware. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and contact them to find out how you can save premium dollars by bundling both your homeowners and car insurance. Family Practice After Hours Clinic off of Highway 98 near Merritt Health. Magnolia State Bank, another one of our sponsors on the Sumrall webcast. And Bellevue Specialty Eye Care. There's no eye excuse not to get your eyes checked, but there's more reasons other than just general eye exams at Bellevue Specialty Eye Care. A wide variety of services, and you can tell a lot about the rest of the health of your body by what your eyes look like, believe it or not. And they can tell you all about it. And our friends at Sonic Restaurants. Thank them for their sponsorship, and anytime you get an opportunity to patronize their products, we hope that you will, and let them know that you appreciate them bringing you these webcasts of Bobcat baseball on a Saturday afternoon. So Griffith leads it off here in the bottom of the second inning. Lefty versus lefty, the matchup here. And the 2 graybeards over there, Mason Story and Hunter Barrett, giving a pep talk to their sophomore pitcher, Cross Sibley, who had just a phenomenal freshman year. Put him on a lot of watch boards early on, and already has some Division I offers. Pitch is high, ball 1. Swung on, foul tip here. 1-1, and that one caught Crawford where he wasn't necessarily padded. And he'll want to walk this one off a little bit. Man, the toughest position to play by far is that catcher position. And the quickest way to the major leagues, if you ever want to play in the majors, is to be a catcher. Because the competition is far less, because nobody wants to be a catcher generally, because you take a beating back there. He hand delivers that ball back to Sibley, and the count is 1-1 to Zach Griffith here, as the Bulldogs bat in the bottom of the second inning, trailing Sumrall 2-0. Breaking ball is away, 2-1, as you hear that wind really kick up now. And you see Old Glory out there in left field. Very active. Good stiff wind now. Sibley from the full wind, the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, tap foul again. And Griffith might have put that one off of his toe. That hurts. Two balls and two strikes to Zach Griffith. He'll be followed by Tyler Temple, the outstanding center fielder. Tried to sweep that one, but fouled it to the right side. So the count stays 2-2. It was a breaking ball that was working away. And Griffith, rather than going with it, tried to pull it and went foul. 2-2 the count. Dennis Jackson plays him to pull slightly. This is a little chopper toward third. Barrett with a late start. Quick throw across his body. Great throw, and he's out by a step. Hunter Barrett is such a staunch defender at third base. And here's Temple now. The righty digs in. The Sumrall defense is pretty much at standard operating procedure, as we'll go over it for you here in a minute. First pitch swinging right into the net here to our right. Across the infield left to right. Barrett, Morgan, Berry, and Story. The outfield left to right. Williams, Jackson, and Garrity. The 0-1 pitch from Sibley. Got a foul tip, and again got Crawford. Boy, he has taken a beating already today. Of course, that's the bad news for Graham. The good news is he's got a solo homer in the ball game. His second one of the year. Sibley heading the count here, 0-2, bases empty, one out for the Bulldogs of Mize. Well, this field is just pristine. I don't know if you can see the checkerboard cuts in the outfield. Not a hair out of place here. 0-2 pitch is off the plate, 1-2. That unique, massive fence in right field. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, just missed, 2-2. I think Sibley thought he had it there. But that above the belt buckle strike just hasn't been there for either pitcher today. And the pitchers have to adjust really to the umpire's zone. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he got him on strikes. First strikeout of the day for Sibley, and that'll bring up Clayton Childress.
Number 25, Clayton Childress.
Childress, the left fielder, who when Barry hit that homer in the first took about 3 steps backward and realized that the ball was over the fence. Childress hitting 6th in the order for Adam Dice. First pitch is low, ball 1. Cross Sibley for Sumrall at first name with a K, K-R-O-S. Swung on, this one is lifted out of play to the right. So 1-1 the count to Childress. Should he reach, then Brady Little, the designated hitter, would come to bat. Sumrall leading 2-0 as the Bulldogs bat in the bottom of the second inning. 2 outs, bases empty. Swung on again. And the Diamond Girls have been busy. And business is picking up here. A ball and 2 strikes. Sylvie with that glove up about his eye line. Tries to drop a bender in there, and he does for called strike 3. Childress is out on strikes. So no runs, no hits, no errors for the Bulldogs in the second inning. We go to the top of the third here at Mize Field. Sumrall 2, Mize nothing. Crawford, Garrity, and Williams scheduled to come to the plate this inning for the Wildcats. Other sponsors of our webcast include Lewis Norman All-Pro Realty, actually driving to the game today. Coming up the 589 onto the 49. Saw some properties with Lewis Norman's name all over it. People who want to sell and buy their properties, he's the first phone call they make. Diversified Forestry, also one of our many sponsors. And the orthodontics team of Granbury and Henderson. We thank them for their support. Crawford will lead it off. Again, hitting right-handed against the left-hander Griffith. Crawford with the solo shot in the first. Digs in here to lead off the third with that wind still working hard and blowing out to left. 307 down that left field line. I don't know if you heard earlier. Rather unique dimensions, just 246 down the right field line, but that big fence out there helps cut down on the home runs. First pitch swung on, and that's driven foul just down the left field line. Just missed Larry Knight down there. So 0-1 to the senior catcher, Graham Crawford. The 0-1 pitch. Off the plate, 1-1 now. Sumrall returns home for a district contest against the Forest County Aggies on Tuesday. Then they go to Brooklyn on Thursday. 1-1 pitch is tapped foul. And then the non-district opponent next weekend will be the Oak Grove Warriors, who had a big win over George County last night in their district. And that game at Sumrall against Oak Grove will also determine the winner of the Rex Adidas Spring Break Tournament, which had to be cut short because of Mother Nature's antics. The 1-2 pitch, too high, 2-2 to Crawford. Really in at third is Tanner Spear. He's in short of the bag even. The 2-2 pitch. That bender is off the plate. 3-2 as that lead shoulder of Griffith came open a bit there. So the payoff pitch coming to Graham Crawford. Sumrall batting in the top of the third. The payoff pitch. Swung on. This is a two-hopper to second. And playing it perfectly over there at second base is Dylan Sullivan, who makes the play, and Crawford is retired 4-3. And here's Garrity now, who struck out swinging his first time up. Coach Barney Finch out of the dugout for the Bulldogs will take a stroll to talk to his left-hander, because Garrity also left-handed, but presenting some problems with power at the plate. And maybe Finch saw what I saw, that Griffith's lead shoulder opening up just a little bit. And now Sullivan will be called into the conversation. 1 out, bases empty for Sumrall here in the top of the third inning. Sumrall's runs both on solo homers. ComSouth offers a full portfolio of two-way communications, 911 call taking, radio dispatch consoles, and safety solutions, including GPS tracking. ComSouth with 4 service centers across the state to serve you: Hattiesburg, Laurel, Macomb, and Meridian. Thanks to ComSouth. Here's Garrity now. First pitch to him is a beautiful sweeping bender in there for a strike. Garrity came in the weekend hitting .318, 5 homers, and now 21 runs batted in. Swung on. High pop-up, but out of play right behind us. Boy, and the poor Diamond Girls had just taken their seats back here behind home plate, and now they're up again. Have to go get after it. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on. That's a shot into right field. They may come up and try to throw on him here. They do, and they get Billy Garrity. But it looked like he might have pulled his foot, and that's what Steve Cooley is going to want a ruling on. It was a great throw from right field, and there was no doubt at all that Dylan Reeves was going to come up throwing the baseball, and he threw a strike to Dusty Bush. He was called out. Steve Cooley thought that the foot was pulled over at first base by Bush. So they've appealed to the home plate umpire, and he has told Larry Knight to head back to the third base coaching box. And he's pointing back to the third base coach's box and telling Knight that's where he needs to go. But Garrity is ruled out. And the rare, the ever so rare 9-3 putout. You see that in youth baseball lots of times where the right fielder will come up throwing, but rarely in the high school game do you see that. So 2 up and 2 down, and here's Javen Williams. Breaking pitch is high. Ball 1 to Javen, who walked his first time on 4 pitches. So Javen looking for his first one in the zone, hitting .319. The 1-0 pitch off the plate. And now Javen, a picture of disgust here, as that was outside. You know he wants to hit. But you also have to have the discipline to take what is delivered. The 2-0 pitch. That's low, 3-0. Should Williams reach, then Hunter Barrett would come to bat. Sumrall batting in the top of the third here, leading 2-0. Base is empty, 2 outs. The 3-0 offering. That's high, ball 4. So Williams has seen 2 walks today.
With 2 outs, number 7, Hunter Barrett.
And here's Barrett, who popped out to shortstop his first time up. So we've already had some bang-bang plays. Some great plays defensively for both teams. Both center fielders have made great plays. Jackson for Sumrall and Temple for Mize. Barrett hitting .289. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Barrett, yet another senior for the Cats. Throw over to first base, and the ball gets away. That'll go far enough away that Williams will round second and will pull up there as Larry Knight puts up both hands saying stay put. In scoring position now with 2 outs. An unforced error there. Has yet to cost the Bulldogs. But Barrett now, a far different hitting situation with a runner at second, because Williams will go on any type of contact. There's a strike. 1-1. Sumrall folks thought that was low, but it's been consistently a low strike zone the whole game.
Good call, Blue.
The belt buckle strike has not been there. Got to be below the belt buckle. Now time is called. And Barrett did what he should have done. He stayed in the box until he officially got the word that time was out. 1-1 the count with 2 away. The pitch from Griffith way outside. 2-1. Javen Williams doing a good job. As soon as Griffith commits to the plate, you'll see Javen Williams take what's called a secondary lead out there so that he can actually be in motion if the ball is put in play. Bobcats trying to extend a 2-0 lead. Pickoff play at second base, and Williams back in time got that right hand in there. Two and one to Barrett. Griffith for the third inning of work. Tried to sweep the bender in there, but that was low as Sullivan had to block down on it to keep it in front of him. 3-1 now. The wind has calmed a bit for the time being. The 3-1 pitch coming. That's off the plate as well, ball 4. So 2 consecutive walks, forfeited by Griffith, has set the table now for Mason Story. Williams is at second, Barrett is at first, and Story flew to deep center field his last time up. He was the one that Tyler Temple made such a good play on, roaming to his right at full speed. First pitch to him is low and inside, ball 1. That batting average for Story creeping up. Well, he started out the season slowly, but never has panicked. And that batting average creeping upward now, just south of 300. The 1-0 pitch. That's low as well, 2-0. The Bulldogs use the Milwaukee Brewers logo. It looks like a glove, but when you break it down, it's the thumb part of it is like a B, and then the rest of the glove is an M for Milwaukee Brewers. Well, here it's, of course, Mize Bulldogs. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Griffith blew it past him. Story hitting 7th in the order for Larry Knight. Should Story reach, then Seth Mitchell would come to bat. A very pleasant Saturday here in Smith County. The 2-1 pitch coming. Swung on, and that was cue-balled off the end of the bat. Well, there's been a lot of those pitches right off the end of the bat that have had that real funky kind of English spin down the right side. So Griffith, deceptive in his delivery, that a lot of the Bobcats have been ahead in their swings. 2-2 the count. Runners will be going with 2 outs. That one missed well off the plate. 3-2 now. So now the runners will be moving anyway with 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in top of the 3rd inning, Sumrall leads Mize 2-0. Swung on. Here's a little floater out toward left. That ball is down. It was a great effort. 1 run scores, but the second man trying to come to third in Barrett is out. So the ball looked like it was going to drop in there. Clayton Childress got a glove on it, but it just came out the end of his glove. Williams scores on the play. And again, Barrett rung up going to third. So as it turns out, don't know if that was ruled a hit or an error, but we'll just tell you that Sumrall scored a run. And that Story wound up at first. So next inning, it'll be Mitchell, Morgan, and Jackson. So 1 more run. for the Cats. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. And the bottom three in the order for the Bulldogs will come to bat. Brady Little, Dusty Bush, the veteran first baseman, and Dylan Reeves. 7, 8, and 9 in the order for Adam Dias. Crawford threw that ball from his knees and threw it about as hard as a lot of guys throw it standing up. Brady Little hitting for Tanner Spear, the third baseman. Digs in there now. The lefty Sibley against the righty Little. Last night, I had mentioned that I got asked all the time if Zane Berry was related to Scott Berry, but Scott, again, the Southern Miss coach, lives in Petal. So, and the Berries here very much entrenched in Sumrall. So no relation, Zane to Scott. First pitch to Little is high, ball one. That's off the plate, 2-0 now.
Don't get beat right here, son. Don't get beat.
Cross Sibley. The 2-0 pitch coming. That's low, 3-0. Brady Little, the son of Mize Hall of Famer Chad Little, whose name is actually on the dugout here. I mean, you got to be a rock star to get your name on the dugout. A 4-pitch walk. Well, I was told that Chad Little was a Hall of Famer, but interestingly, it was Chad Little that told me that. No, we're having fun here. Bush now the hitter for Mize. Barrett comes in on the grass at third, anticipating the bunt, and it's a pop-up. Crawford with the catch. So 1 out. Looked at first base to see if he would have had time to make the snap throw. But saw that he didn't have a play, so took the out as it was given. So runner at first, 1 out, and here's Dylan Reeves, the right fielder. He is showing bunt. Sibley will go back to first, and they've got him picked off. Sibley with a great move. So 2 outs, base is empty. And Dylan Reeves now will get verbal instructions from Coach Dice as to how to play this now with the bases empty. Sibley has got a ton of pickoffs this season. Swung on, popped up right side of the infield. Berry and Story. It looks like it'll be Story there to put it away for the 3rd out. So, as it turns out, Sibley has faced the minimum. And we go to the top of the 4th inning here in Mize today. Sumrall leading Mize 3-0. Mitchell, Morgan, and Jackson will come to bat to face Zach Griffith. The other teams in the region with Mize, kind of easy to remember because other than St. Joe's, they all begin with a P. The Pisgah Dragons, the Pelahatchie Chiefs, and the Puckett Wolves in the 2A classification. Smith County, of course, with some schools of great tradition in different sports. Obviously, Mize here, and you've got the Taylorsville Tartars in Smith County and the Raleigh Lions, but it's Raleigh, actually, with the most population of those 3. So here's Seth Mitchell.
Leading off the top of the 4th. Number 3, Sid Mitchell.
Mitchell hitting .312 with 2 homers and 10 runs batted in. First pitch to him is swung on and fouled into the net here. Man, I don't know what they charge for these seats, but it's not enough. This is position A here at Mize Field. Right on top of the action, the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled again to the right side. So he's been challenging Mitchell with fastballs, and Mitchell just hasn't been able to barrel it up. Mitchell, one of the few starters in this roster today that's not a senior. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed. Nice job again by Sullivan. A lot of Sullivans around the area. The 1-2 pitch coming. Low. 2-2 now, the count to the leadoff hitter for Sumrall here in the 4th, Seth Mitchell. The 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pitch swung on. Here's a slow roller to third, actually off of his foot. So it'll be ruled a dead ball. Probably the most important Sullivan, though, Gracie Sullivan, of which the press box would not operate efficiently if it were not Gracie Sullivan's talents at the press box here in Mize. 2-2 the count. The pitch to Mitchell. Breaking ball high. Count fills now at 3-2. We can't forget Kara, but I don't think Kara's a Sullivan. The 3-2 payoff pitch. Boy, I don't know where that missed. But ball 4 is called, and Mitchell heads down to first base.
Next up for the Bobcats, number 27, Tanner Morgan.
Fresh texting in today. Zach Berry, Zane's brother. Making sure that we knew that they're not related to Scott Berry. Now Hayden Barrett coming in to run for Seth Mitchell. Larry Knight making that notation to the umpire, and Tanner Morgan will get ready to bat here. The Aggies of Forest County come to town on Tuesday night. We hope to see you at Larry Knight Field. The weather forecast for Tuesday already exemplary. Good looking weather forecast for Tuesday, so no reason not to be there. First pitch, Tanner Morgan shows bunt, but popped it into the screen. Actually kind of had his arms in, when ideally you want to have those arms extended out and the bat head up so that the ball will go toward the ground. Morgan hitting 9th in the order. This is prototypical baseball strategy here with a number 9 hitter and a man on base with no outs. Bunt is shown again. And Sullivan thought that was there. You could tell by the way that John held the baseball and delayed the throw back to the pitcher. He thought that was strike 2. Catchers can communicate without talking lots of times, just by watching their body language. 1-1 pitch, that's there. Throw to first base is not in time. Larry Knight flashing through the signals now at third as to whether the bunt will still be on with 2 strikes. Not to overstate the obvious, but if you attempt to bunt with 2 strikes and don't put it in play, you're out. The 1-2 pitch, runner going, and swung on and fouled into the screen. So Barrett will head back to first base. Hayden, the lion-hearted Barrett. Not the tallest guy on the team, but pound for pound, maybe the strongest physically. And he can fly. 1-2 the count to Tanner Morgan. That pitch is off the plate. They thought Barrett might have been going again, had a pitch to waste. So pitch out was called there, but he was not going. 2-2 the count. Knight again with the signals. Bulldogs in at third. Swung on. Here's a high fly ball to right field. Actually coming in, and some discussion between the two, but eventually it was the right fielder Dylan Reeves who gloved it for out number 1.
With one out, number 5, Dennis Jackson.
So here's Dennis Jackson now, who will be a football wide receiver for Hottie Toddy this fall. But with Jackson and Barrett on base, you talk about speed o'plenty. Jackson showing bunt. That's off the plate. Throw down to second base. The runner is there in time. Barrett actually hit the base with his lead foot and it popped him straight up. Bang, bang play, but the call is safe at second base. So Barrett is there. And I would think that the bunt would be off here, but we'll see. In at third base, Tanner Spear anticipating the bunt might still be on. Pickoff play to second base, and they got him. Pickoff called from the dugout. Barrett leaning a little bit toward third. They picked up on it, and he is erased at second base. So 2 outs now. Base is empty, and a 1-0 count to Dennis Jackson. Breaking ball missed. 2-0 to the senior center fielder. Jackson, the sleekly built center fielder. That's off the plate, 3-0. Dennis has always been real lean, but has put on some good weight, but I'm sure they probably want to put a little bit more weight on him if you're going to play football in that league. Here's the 3-0. That's there for strike 1. I hear tell that there's some pretty good football teams in the SEC. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Jackson way out ahead of a off-speed pitch there, so the count fills at 3-2. Dennis working on a 1-for-2 day today, a strikeout and a single. The payoff pitch. Swung on, popped him up. Left side of the infield should be an easy play. It is for the shortstop Clay Cook, and that'll do it for Sumrall in the 4th. So no runs, no hits. There was a walk. Nobody left on base after the pickoff at second. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Mize, and Cross Sibley will go back to the top of the order. Cook, Sullivan, and Sullivan. Are Dylan and John related? Dylan Sullivan and John related. John Sullivan. Coming here to the bottom of the 4th here in Mize, Kelly Sanner along with producer, engineer, director Jeremy Thompson. We'll be back with you again Tuesday in Lamar County, where the Raw Cats will host the Aggies of Forest County as they get back into district play. But the clear number 1 seed now, after sweeping the defending champs from Purvis. The schedule certainly favors Sumrall the rest of the way if you look at the standings. 2 of the teams in the lower echelon of the standings, Forest County and Lawrence County, both are capable certainly, but just on paper, schedule certainly favoring Sumrall to be the number 1 seed now. Clay Cook will lead it off here. He flew to center field his first time up.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th.
He was first pitch swinging and nearly knocked it out of the ballpark, but Dennis Jackson was able to get it right at the base of the fence. That wind kicking up again. Clouds, some kind of ominous clouds starting to move into the area, although rain not in the forecast till later on in the day. First pitch is a swing and a miss to Cook. The shortstop for the Mize Bulldogs. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss again. Sibley not wasting any time. And Cross has looked much better today, much more comfortable, has not been anywhere close to hitting anybody. The 0-2 pitch, that's inside 1-2. Cross actually working a little bit faster than usual today. He gets that sign from Crawford and kicks and delivers. The 1-2. Swung on, fly ball to center field. Dennis Jackson is right there awaiting it. He puts it away for out number 1. And Cook was so confident that Dennis Jackson was going to catch that ball, he carried the bat with him halfway down to first base. So 1 out, and here's Dylan Sullivan, the second baseman. Dylan grounded out to Barrett, his first time up. First pitch was ruled low. I 1-0. Inside 2-0 now. As the Bulldogs bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning, trailing Sumrall 3-0. That's low, 3-0. The 3-0 score on the scoreboard was actually the score that the Bulldogs won by last night here. Four straight pitches, and Larry Knight's looking from the dugout saying, where in the world are those pitches? And it really behooves an umpire to have a somewhat open strike zone so that you force the hitters to swing. The game was designed to have the hitters put the ball in play and make the defense make plays. Sullivan grounded out to Zane Berry, his first time up. First pitch is a strike. And again, Sibley working quickly here.
Hey, coaches ain't calling back there. You are.
0-1. Sullivan hitting third in the order for the Bulldogs. Throw over to first base, and they got him again. The second pickoff of the game for Cross Sibley. So Dylan Sullivan is taken out of the equation. 2 outs now, base is empty. And the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball missed. And somebody told me before the game that if the Bulldogs had something to work on this year, it was their base running. And a couple of pickoffs here have hurt the Bulldogs. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the heater. So 1-2 the count. To Big John Sullivan, the catcher for Mize. Batting in the bottom of the 4th. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That is the 3rd strikeout of the game for Sibley, and he has only walked 1. So we've completed 4 here at Mize Field, and Sumrall leading this one 3-0. And it'll be Berry, Crawford, and Garrity, the scheduled hitters. 2, 3, and 4. As we've got a pitching change now for the Bulldogs. Bush is on to pitch. Dusty Bush, who started the game at first base, will now come on to work. Bush, the right-handed hitter, or the right-handed thrower rather, will face righty, lefty, lefty here in the top of the 5th. Barry, a true right-handed hitter. Crawford will hit left-handed against him, and Garrity is a true left-handed hitter. So righty, lefty, lefty. Sumrall looking for its 17th win of the year. And there's still 3 weeks left to go before we even get into the playoffs. Well, 3 weeks to start the playoffs. Barry has a 1-for-2 day going with a home run. His first one of the year was a solo shot back in the 1st inning.
If you participated in Split the Pot, the winning ticket is 835-9872. Check your ticket now, 835-9872. Please come to the press box to claim your prize.
Wind still blowing out toward left. Premier Orthopedic Specialist, one of our sponsors. Dr. Burns and Bayless specialize in hip replacements, problems with joints. There's so many injuries related to sports nowadays. You can check them out on the web at premierorthopedic.com. You can schedule your appointment online, premierorthopedic.com. And here is Zane Barry. Shows bunt. That pitch is outside, ball 1. Boy, the corner has not been there at all today. Umpire has not given the corners at all. You almost got to hit the entire plate for a strike to be called. 2-0 now to Zane Barry, facing Bush for the first time tonight. They play him to pull slightly, the 2-0 pitch. There's the strike. 2-1. Barry may have been on the take there. The 2-1 pitch coming. That's outside, 3-1 now. On our Sumrall roll call, we've got more text messages coming in here. We'll get to them here in just a minute. 3-1 to Barry. That pitch is high, ball 4. But he waited. He waited until ball 4 was called. Big time Billy G's grandmother couldn't make it out to her alma mater today, so she's watching in Mendenhall. The rest of the family in the stands. Go Bobcats. Well, big time Billy G's going to be up here in just a minute here, Grandma. But in the meantime, it's Graham Crawford now hitting left-handed. He hit that home run earlier today from the right side. Barry with tons of speed over there at first base, and they know it and want to keep him close by throwing over there. Cross Sibley, the Sumrall pitcher, has helped his own cause with 2 pickoffs today. First pitch to Crawford is swing and a miss. Decided to pull the trigger just a bit late. Over at third base, Tanner Spear in tight, thinking that Crawford might try to put the bunt down, even though he certainly didn't look like he was bunting there. That pitch is low, 1-1. Graham Crawford, the Pearl River Wildcat signee. Michael Avalon and the Wildcats having a pretty good season down in Pop Vegas. So Bush checks the runner. Barry, he inches off the bag, swung on, and this one smashed foul over here to our left and out of play. Boy, the Diamond Girls getting the money today. They've been busy having to track these foul balls down. 1-2 the count to Graham Crawford with the aforementioned Billy Garrity on deck. Sumrall leading 3-0 and has the leadoff man aboard here in the 5th. Barry throwing to second base. They call him out. Larry Knight is wanting a balk called. So Barry is headed back to the dugout, albeit temporarily. He's not even going to entertain a discussion with Larry Knight there. So Barry back to the dugout. Meanwhile, the count to Crawford is 1-2. That pitch is high, 2-2. As soon as Barry took off, the base umpire was pretty much looking at Barry. So I'm not sure either official had a real good look at Bush's move, whether it was or wasn't a balk. That pitch is high, 3-2. But the long and the short of it is bases are empty and 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. The payoff pitch is inside. Called ball 4 on a pitch that was and I got to tell you, it looked like it was right there for strike 3. I have to. But Sully Clark will come in to run for Crawford. And here's Garrity now. Garrity has struck out and was thrown out on what should have been a base hit to right field. It was hit so sharply that the right fielder Dylan Reeves came up throwing from right field and threw him out at first base. So Sully Clark over there, throw to first to keep him close. And big time is Grandma watching Mendenhall not far from here. First pitch, here's a drive to center field. That ball is well hit. That ball is gone over the fence in dead center field. Garrity has done some yard work, and Sumrall puts 2 more on the board. Yikes. That ball jumped off the bat, and it was a no-doubter. 5-0, Roll Cats. Another homer, 2 more RBIs for Garrity. He now has 6 and 23 respectively.
Next up for the Bobcats, number 14, David Williams.
So here's Javen now, who has walked twice on 8 pitches. And the center fielder, Tyler Temple, just kind of worked his way backwards and then watched the ball plummet over the wall. First pitch is away, ball 1. 5-0 Sumrall now. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 more here in the 5th. So they like the odd numbers. Swung on, here's a grounder to short. Gobbled up. High throw, but coming down on the bag. Good play by the first baseman, who was actually the starting pitcher. Griffith was the man that went up and made that play. So Williams is out on the 6-3 putout, 2 away. And here's Hunter Barrett, who has popped to short and walked, is officially 0 for 1. First pitch to him is high and away, ball one. So Bush on in relief of Griffith here for Mize. Griffith worked 4 innings. That's away, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Swung on, here's a chopper towards short. Nice backhand, throw over to first, and a good scoop by Griffith. How about Clay Cook moving to his right on the backhand in a ball that was nearly into left field? And they get Barrett by a full step. So Sumrall comes up with 2 runs on just 1 hit. The 2-run smash by Garrity has made it 5-0. And the Bulldogs will send up Griffith, Temple, and Childress to face Cross Sibley as he comes out for his 5th inning of work. Our webcast made possible by a sponsorship from Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings, the official viewing station of the NCAA basketball tournament. They've also got those fast break lunch specials that you can enjoy daily, and drink specials during big sporting events like the NCAA tournament. Buffalo Wild Wings always a big supporter of local high school athletics. The Hattiesburg location at the intersection of Hardy Street and I-59. Buffalo Wild Wings. Sibley again working quickly. We'll face the cleanup hitter Zach Griffith here with the bases empty as we go to the bottom of the 5th. He'll be followed by the center fielder Tyler Temple and then the left fielder Clayton Childress. Tanner Morgan on the back edge of the dirt at shortstop. Shows bunt. Flashed bunt anyway did Zach Griffith, but pulled the bat back. But that will raise the suspicion of Hunter Barrett over at third. Swung on, here's a little floater out into center field. That drops for a base hit. So Griffith with a leadoff single here in the 5th. And looking at my scorebook, that constitutes the first hit of the game for Mize. A walk, a couple of walks actually surrendered by Sibley, but that was the first hit of the game. First pitch is high on the fastball to Temple, who struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Five nothing Sumrall. The Bulldogs batting in the 5th. Swung on, lifted out of play to the right side. That 247 dimension in right field, there was actually a road that used to be back behind that fence where it is now. That road has subsequently been moved further back. But in order for that fence to come down and the field to be expanded there, swung on, this one is fouled. They'd have to actually move the light poles in right field, which it's a bigger project than you would think. So the 247 dimension in right will stay, at least for the time being, and that high fence out there makes up for the lack of distance. Unusual dimension, 247 to right field. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball dropped in there and a beauty for strike 3. Temple knew it, and he's back to the dugout with 1 out. Fourth strikeout on the day for Sibley to go with a couple of walks. So he's got a 2-for-1 ratio going today. And here's Clayton Childress, who was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd. First pitch swung on, ground ball to second. Taylor made double play to short for 1, over to first in time. 4-6-3. And the Bulldogs are erased in the 5th. Sibley by different circumstances, a couple of pickoffs and being aided by a double play, has faced the minimum through 5. No runs on a hit for the Bulldogs. Sumrall will come to bat in the top of the 6th inning, leading this game 5-0. And that's all the Bulldogs would need is another shutout. Their last 5 games, they've either won or lost via the shutout. And they've won 3 of those 5. Mize came in with a 13-7 overall record. So Bush will come out for his 2nd inning of work. We want to thank La Torre's Restaurant in Sumrall for their support of Bobcat Baseball. La Torre's has a great lunch special that always includes the salad and the drink. You don't last as long or been around as long as La Torre's without doing things the right way. Instead of turning the direction to go to the ballpark off of 42, turn the other direction. You'll be right into the parking lot of La Torre's Fine Foods. Proud to support the Bobcats. Here's Mace now. He has flown to center and singled. He is 1 for 2. The sun out in full force now, smiling down upon us. Here in Smith County, first pitch is high, ball 1. Watermelon Festival's got to be coming up sometime soon, in July. And I don't know if the soil in Smith County really does have anything to do with the watermelons, but whoever markets that is sure smart, because you go buy a watermelon and the first question anybody will ask you is it from Smith County? 1-1 the count after the foul ball to Mason Story. The 1-1 pitch from Bush took something off of it, but missed outside, 2-1. So is the soil in Mize different than in Taylorsville or Raleigh? Or where in Smith County is the best watermelon grown? In Mize, of course. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, lifted out of play to the right side, so the count evens up at 2-2. Sumrall leading 5-0, hitting in the top of the 6th. Mason Story, the leadoff hitter here. Bush from the full windup. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Story is out, 1 away, and here comes Seth Mitchell now, who has walked twice. Seth hitting .312 with 2 homers and 10 runs batted in. Seth hitting 4 cross-Sibley. The Aggies of Forest County come calling on Tuesday night for a 6:30 start. Hope you'll be with us at Larry Knight Field. First pitch, popped it up to the right side, but this one will get out of play. Sullivan and Griffith both came over to give it a look, but it got out of play. If Sumrall had a guy named Kilrain, you'd have a Sullivan for Mize and a Kilrain for Sumrall. Hopefully they wouldn't tangle. That pitch is outside. 1-1. Base is empty, 1 out here. Seth Mitchell battling Dusty Bush, swing and a miss. So Mitchell behind in the count now, 1-2. Homers in the game for Sumrall from Barry, Crawford, and Garrity. Hitters 2, 3, and 4. All with shots today. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That one jammed him on the inner part of the plate, and he was able to fight it off to the right. So the count stays 1-2 to Seth Mitchell, hitting 8th in the order for Larry Knight, who has had a couple of discussions with the men in black today. Tanner Morgan on deck for Sumrall. The 1-2 pitch. Too high. 2-2. And that wasn't a lot high, but by the zone that the umpire has had today, anything above the belt buckle, not going to work today. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. Trying to get Mitchell to nibble toward the outer part of the plate, and he laid off of it. The payoff pitch now from Bush to Mitchell. Outside, ball 4, and for the 3rd time today, Mitchell has coaxed a walk out of a Mize pitcher. And here's Tanner Morgan with 1 out.
Next up for the Bobcats, number 27, Tanner Morgan.
Tanner hitting 9th in the order. Sumrall with for the time being, a comfortable lead. But will Morgan try to bunt him over or swing away? Spears at 3rd thinks he may be bunting, and that first pitch is low. Sullivan has done a good job behind the plate for Mize today. And he's an 8-cylinder model to begin with, but he's shown some mobility that a lot of guys his size don't have. Mitchell will come off the bases now, and Marshall Phillips will run for him. Marshall Phillips, the outstanding freshman for Sumrall, and man, what a future he's got. Has all the tools, quick hands, speed, smarts. Plays a little football as well for Shannon White. So 1-0 the count to Tanner Morgan. Phillips is at first with 1 out. Throw over to first. And Marshall back in time. Righty versus righty, the matchup here. Bush gets the sign from Sullivan. Likes what's called. Kicks and delivers. Swung on. There's a smash right up the middle. A base hit. Station to station for Sumrall there as Phillips comes into second base. Boy, and Tanner was due. And that was a rod right up the middle. And here now is Dennis Jackson. Dennis a 1-for-3 day. One out here in the 6th. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Boy, these pitchers aren't missing by much. I think if I was an umpire, about 30% of these would have been called strikes. Of course, I like an open strike zone, make the guys swing the bat. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip for Dennis Jackson. There was some thought initially that Dennis was going to go to Mississippi State and play football, but he will definitely be in Oxford this fall. 1-1. The count. That's off the plate. 2-1 now to the leadoff hitter. He has consistently been in that one hole for Larry Knight all season. Now Bush off of the pitching rubber. Force anywhere except home. So on the ground, the runners will have to move. Fastball count here at 2-1. There it is, and Jackson missed it. 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 6th inning. Just now an hour and a half into this game. Bush gets the sign, comes set. Bush, the second of 2 pitchers. Swing and a miss. Dennis Jackson down on strikes. 2 away. That is the second strikeout for Bush. And here is Zane Berry, who has homered, struck out, and walked. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. So runners will be moving on contact now with 2 away. They don't have to worry about being doubled up. Sumrall wanting to win this game and then get back home and get ready for prom tonight. That pitch is high and inside. 2-0 to Zane with Graham Crawford on deck. Mize, you'll recall, came to Sumrall last year. This is part of that contract, so to speak, a home and home situation. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. So Barry now will get the green light. Two 1 pitch swung on, popped to the right side. Will it stay in play? It will not. Griffith came over to try to sniff it out, but he got as far as he could and could not make a play. So 2-2 now to Zane Berry. Marshall Phillips at second, Tanner Morgan at first. The throw over to first, and I think Griffith was a little bit alarmed there because he was not expecting a throw. He was not on the bag, and Griffith will come and talk it over with his pitcher, saying, look, I'm sure the word dude will be used somewhere in the discussion, but dude, wait till I get to the bag before you throw it over there. That could have been catastrophic. The umpire just said the 3-2 count, so the runners will be off with the pitch. There they go. Outside. I thought I heard him say 3-2, but now it's 3-2. Now they will be off to the races. Nothing to lose here by putting the runners in motion. Barry ready to go. There they go, and that's way outside, ball 4. So Phillips advances to third. Tanner Morgan at second. Zane Berry at first. And here comes Graham Crawford. Crawford homered in the first, a solo shot. Grounded to second in the third. Walked and scored in the fifth. Sumrall batting in the sixth here, leading 5-0. With the right-handed pitcher, Crawford will dig in from the left side. Rare that you find switch hitters at all anymore, but the fact that you've got a switch hitting catcher who hits as ably from each side is a real diamond in the rough. The first pitch from Bush is high, ball 1. There's no place to put Crawford here. Then you got big-time Billy Garrity on deck, who hit a monster shot to center his last time up. And this will bring Adam Dias out of the dugout to talk to Bush, and I think Bush may be done. So they'll move some positions around. Grant McLeod, another left-hander. Will come into pitch, the third. So McLeod in relief of Bush, who was on in relief of Griffith. So now with a 1-0 count, it'll be interesting to see if Crawford turns back around and hits from the right side with the lefty up there, which that's the advantage a hitter has, because it really doesn't behoove a coach to switch a pitcher when the batter can turn right around and hit from the other side just as well. And the homer that Crawford hit in the first was as a right-handed hitter. Which he can go right back there and hit as a right-hander. And guess what? That's what he's going to do. Bases are loaded for Sumrall here in the top of the 6th inning, leading Mize 5-0. There are 2 outs. So McLeod being called upon here to try to get the last out of the inning and put out what could be a fire. Sumrall got 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fifth. But the bases are stuffed full of cats here in the top of the sixth with 2 outs. And Grant McLeod on to try to get the Bobcats out here. And so in the middle of an at-bat, Graham Crawford will turn around and hit right-handed. It's a great thing about baseball, man, is every game you see something a little bit different. We saw a throw out from right field today to first base. That doesn't happen very often. So now here goes Crawford from the other side. Great speed on the bases for Sumrall. The 1-0 pitch. That's in the dirt. Again, good job by Sullivan to keep the ball out in front, and therefore keeping the runners at bay. 2-0 to Crawford. Be interesting to see whether he's on the take here or has the green light to swing on 2-0, because a walk is as good as a hit. The 2-0 offering. Swung on, he was swinging and popped it up right behind us and out of play. Crawford was ahead of it a little bit. Cross Sibley, pitching for Sumrall, has faced the minimum, as it turns out. He has walked some guys, but has a couple of pickoffs and has been aided by a double play. The 2-1 pitch. There's a strike on the corner. 2-2 now to Crawford, who will redo the gloves and get back to work here. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McLeod looks in at Sullivan. Tried to nibble him with a breaking ball, but outside. And even McLeod kind of gave a look toward the umpire like he thought he had it. I think it was out just a hair. Didn't miss by much, but it was out. And we can see that here from our prime location on the mezzanine over Mize. The 3-2 pitch swung on, popped it up, and out of play. So again, the runners will be moving once the lefty commits to the plate. And Marshall Phillips at third can really get a good jump because the lefty's not looking at him like he is at Zane Berry over at first. Sullivan takes a walk with McLeod to make sure that they've got the communication clear. Because again, there's no room to put Crawford. And Garrity coming up next. So runners moving. The 3-2 pitch is high and outside, ball 4. So Marshall Phillips, just to be official, will step on home plate. That makes it a 6-0 Sumrall lead. Sully Clark will come on to run for the catcher Crawford. And here comes Garrity now, who homered in his last at bat.
Number 31, Billy Garrity.
And I mean, it was a smash over the center field wall. Again, great speed on the bases for Sumrall. The first pitch to Garrity is outside, ball 1. Javen Williams on deck as Sumrall bats here in the 6th. 2 away. Bulldogs just looking to get one last out here. The 1-0. Low, 2-0 to Garrity. A couple of left-handers have been sported today by Adam Dice, the starter Griffith, and now McLeod, another lefty. Swung on, popped up, back here behind home plate, but it will get out of play. Again, Sullivan came over to give it a look. So did the third baseman, Spear. It just goes as a strike, 2-1 to Garrity. With the bases juiced, Garrity ready to work with a slightly open stance. The 2-1 pitch, breaking ball in there for strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. They play him to pull slightly. There's a shot toward right field. That ball is up. That ball is gone. Aloha on the steel guitar. Billy Garrity got a breaking ball that he waited on, rotated the hips, and pulled it over the monster in right field. A grand slam for Garrity. His second homer of the day. And Big Time has done it again. .267 to right field or not. If it had been 400 to right, that one would have been out of here. But the thing that encourages you the most about that home run by Garrity is that it was on a breaking ball, which Garrity can hit fastballs with the best of them. But rarely will you see him yank a curveball like that, and he waited on it and pulled the trigger at the very last minute, the perfect time. And now Javen Williams getting some last-minute instructions from Larry Knight. 5 runs across here in the 6th, but 4 of them via the Garrity grand slam. So the Cats playing long ball today. 2 by Garrity. First pitch is a strike to Javen Williams. Barry has a homer. Crawford has a homer. 2 home runs for Garrity. Garrity, 6 RBIs on the day. So he now has 7 homers, 27 runs batted in. And a 1-1 count to Javen Williams. McLeod still going from the stretch now. Swung on, here's a chopper wide of third. So foul ball makes it a 1-2 count. Hunter Barrett in the on-deck circle. Should Javen Williams reach? A 1-2 count. And the pitch. Swung on, another ball that is shot foul wide of third. Cross Sibley has gone the distance. Somebody, it looks like, is warming in the Sumrall. Stone Robinson. The lanky relief pitcher, he is loosening down there. Don't know if he will be deployed or if he'll send Sibley out there for the 6th. Breaking ball, here's a little floater over toward right, and a nice sliding catch in foul territory by Griffith. Heads up play, Griffith is able to snag it. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. But Sumrall comes up with 5 runs on 2 hits. Some walks in there, obviously. And Sibley back out here in the 6th inning. Leading now 10-0. Don't forget, Martin's E-Tax in downtown Sumrall is open for you all year round. Of course, the tax deadline coming up on the 15th of April. Now Sibley being summoned off the mound, and it looks like Stone Robinson will get the call. So one lefty relieved by another lefty. But Martin's E-Tax, not just for personal taxes, but business taxes as well. They're located at 4879 Highway 589 in Sumrall, right across from Town Hall. It's Martin's E-Tax, a longtime supporter of Sumrall Baseball. And Stone Robinson, the Illinois native, checks in here. Stone, for the first 3 years of his life, was a suburban Chicago resident, but has been here now in our area for most of his life. Said he doesn't really have any memories that young, of course, being in Illinois, although he does get back there to the Midwest to visit at times. So Sumrall moving a lot of folks around here. What'd I say? Sumrall moving a bunch of folks around here. At first base, Garrity is now at first. We'll try to see who the other changes are. As Stone Robinson, no save situation here with this big of a lead. So Garrity into play first now. We have an equipment malfunction here at the plate as Crawford will batten down the hatches. Brady Little. First pitch is ball one. First pitch swung on, ground ball to third base. Barrett with it over to first for the first out of the inning. So Brady Little is out on the 5-3. Ty Little in left field, Williamson in right now. As Stone Robinson continuing to work here. The 1-0 pitch. Missed inside. 1-1 to Bush, the hitter now. He's popped to the catcher in his only other at bat. There's a strike. 2-1. Stone Robinson, the long, lanky, left-handed pitcher in relief of Cross Sibley. So a couple of left-handers on the hill today for Sumrall. Called that one outside. 3-1 the count to Bush with Dylan Reeves, the scheduled hitter, on deck. There's strike two. Stone coming right at him here. Bush hitting 8th in the order. The payoff pitch. Swung on, little chopper right back to him. Throws over to first base for the second out. So 2 away, and it'll be up to Dylan Reeves to extend this game.
Number 23, Dylan Reeves.
Again, Ty Little in left for Sumrall. Williamson in right. And Garrity has come in to play first base. Stone Robinson's first pitch is outside, ball one, to the number 9 man in the order here, Dylan Reeves. Sumrall scored in every inning except the second and the fourth. Swung on, slow grounder to third. Barrett's got it. Throw to first is in time. And a 1-2-3 inning for Stone Robinson. How do you like that? And that is the ball game. The 10-run rule enacted here. Sumrall wins it 10-0. Cross Sibley gets the win in this non-district contest. With this win, the Bobcats go 17-3 overall. But the most important record is that district record of 5-1. And they'll be in action again Tuesday night when the Forest County Aggies come to Larry Knight Field. Scheduled start at 6:30. Sumrall wins it over Mize, 10-0. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all of our sponsors. For producer, engineer, director Jeremy Thompson, I'm Kelly Sander. Again, thanks for joining us. You've been watching Sumrall Bobcat Baseball.